in this episode of
See, they think a title stops the debt. The title does not stop a debt because contract law, you did not satisfy the balance. And now once they get that judgment, now they get that title back in their name, you know they're coming to snatch the vehicle.
Welcome to Are You Afraid of the Dark, where knowledge is dark and ignorance is light, episode 40.
We are back in the building with another one. I understand the frustration when you entered into a contract that you didn't fully understand the terms. You entered into a contract that you didn't know they were speaking double talk language with you. So basically what they were putting on the contract, it was saying one thing, but it really means something else. But the contract has nothing to do with how they account for things. I understand the frustration when you look at your TILA disclosures and it shows that the total amount of payments that you got to make, which is your principal balance plus the finance charge. I understand how these 30-year mortgages or these 5 to 7 year contracts has you paying 5, 6, 7 times more than what the property is actually valued at.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I understand how you can go to this group, from this group, get this template, get this document. Oh, apply this. Hell, people has gone to the great lengths to get out of debt for even changing their name, changing their status, declaring the Social Security account dead, declaring they're not a U.S. citizen, so they're not under the law. Gone to even the most extreme measures by even tendering an instrument for money that they know they don't have. Like, I understand the desperation. I understand how it gets to that level when you're trying to get out the clutches of these finance companies and these mortgage companies, and it feels like they just keep. I understand that feeling. When you feel like you have no hope, you giving your hard-earned money to this, you giving your hard money to that, and nothing pans out. And I also understand the ones who were successful. I understand how you get a dismissal without prejudice on your $7,000 credit card. I understand how in a debt buyer case, they didn't have all the documents needed to actually prove that they're entitled to force the debt. Hell, I understand how they may be violating your rights in the course of collecting a debt. I understand how, that can now become the play. That can now become the money play. I get a credit card, I don't pay, I wait for them to sue me, I get sued. I already understand the little ins and outs. And I hit them with the FDCPA claim. I also understand how the flip side of it, when people are dealing with the original creditor, they lose. When it comes to a mortgage and autos, those are the big transactions. The FDCPA really doesn't apply. I notice how people will stay away from things that they don't understand. I've also understand and noticed how people has lost their homes, their vehicles, their assets, their properties in a more rapid fashion than what the little FDCPA debt buyer wins they show online. I do know that. I've noticed how people have spent $5, $6, $7, $10,000 on a mortgage defense, and the teacher gives them the same document they gave to the last 10 people that didn't win.
You complete me. I love you.
I do understand that. I do understand that very few people actually understand the corporate financing system on how it operates in its totality.
You're
I
rocking
do
with the
understand
best.
that securitization is nothing but a cliche buzzword today. I do understand that everybody that jumps out there and talks about securitization has no clue on how the corporate finance world views securitization. Many people think your loan was sold. Many people think it. And I do understand that many people don't like my tone. They don't like how I come off. Some say I may come off as arrogant. Some say I come off as not humble, whatever that means. But you know, one thing that I also understand, I do understand that I got the job done.
You're rocking with the best.
I do understand that I got the job done. The fact that I actually got the job done, that wasn't in a manner that's consistently taught online, has rubbed many people the wrong way. I believe that my success threw this space off. Want to know why? You never heard about the 5 lenses of the contract until I brought it up. You didn't hear, no, be plaintiff in the current and current at the same time. Don't always go to them in default. That put a dent in a lot of people's. I do know that my own reality makes people question whether what they've been doing for years has been effective. And I also know that many people are looking at me trying to compete with me. I get so sick of people sending me DMs of their FDCPA settlements. I mean, congratulations. What do you want me to say? That you're on my level? That me and you are the same? Do you want me to acknowledge that your win and my win are the same? I mean, is that what you want me to do? I mean, if I'm going to do that, then I need something measurable that I'm looking at that can obtain that.
Jeff Gamble.
Mr. Gamble, how you doing, sir?
Yeah. Good.
Hey, nice talking to you. I just wanted to let you know personally, I appreciate your help with the matter of resolving this with credit acceptance. I did receive the title. Just wanted to give you a thank you, man. I appreciate your hard work, man.
No, I'm glad we were able to work it out.
Yes,
and you were a big part of that process too. So
yes, most definitely.
Just sit for a bit, and the momentum when really people are working towards the goal.
Yep.
Really helps.
Yes, sir.
The process.
Yes,
so
sir.
I too am thankful for your role in that as well. But I really appreciate the cause.
Yes, sir. Because all I see in your wins, I see that you got into a contract, and the majority of them are credit card contracts. Agreements. You swipe the card. I don't see you had a problem at the time that you were swiping the card. I don't see you bringing a claim at the time then when you got the card. I don't see that you sent the card back because these interest rates is outrageous or these terms and conditions. I don't see that. What I do see is you swiping the card. What I do see is now that you swipe a card, you got to pay principal and interest back. That's what I do see. What I also see is you said you wasn't going to pay for whatever reason after you've already benefited for the use of their credit. See, I see that you was able to swipe their credit, but when it comes down to paying back, now there's an issue with the contract. I get that. See, that's what I do see.
We got to hold people accountable.
And what I do see is your FDCPA claim wins. I do see it's reinforcing that you can get goods and services in this world and you don't have to pay them back. People going down to the DMV pulling title fraud, or it's called washing the title, confusing, manipulating the agents there to issue a title after you've only made the initial down payment, never made a payment ever again. See, I do see the connection that although people think that they are doing a process, asserting their rights, I do see people with the mindset that their whole intent on doing things is to hoodwink and get over on the system and beat the system by doing things in mass that are not legally recognized if you was to bring exactly what you were doing at the DMV into a courtroom setting. That's what I do see. I do see scams and fraudulent activity masked as my rights. That's what I do see. And just because we want to tell ourselves these are not frauds and scams, it's my right, they don't have no right to collect. It doesn't take away from the fact that many people, what they call a process is nothing more than a fraud scams. But what you don't see, this is what you don't see. You don't see people popping up with titles from the finance companies sending it back to them.
You're rocking with the best.
Settlement from a legal and recognized claim. Stepping into the same courtroom that many people online say, what I talk about on here, you're not going to be able to go to court with it.
So although what I'm presenting, not teaching, may not be something that you can walk into a bank with, may not be that you can go into a court and win a case with specifically.
See, I see that too. And then I start to ask myself, why is it that every time I talk about court or winning in court, you got people like Talafera calling me a coon because I went into court. You got the other lady saying, Effie Lade, hey, if you go into court, don't go into court. That's what they want you to do. That's their system. Don't go into court. So I find it, why is going into court so much of a bad thing when millions of companies and millions of corporations go into court every day to settle disputes? They settle disputes every day by going into court. But now we're not supposed to go into court because the court is their system. Why don't I go into court if I feel like going into court is the most effective way for me? But you want to know one thing that I notice about me going into court versus everybody who says stay away from court? See, I don't have to look over my shoulder with my assets. They got a double garage with theirs. They're hiding their vehicles now. Don't let them fool you. They are hiding their vehicles right now. Don't let them fool you. All these trust and title process, they're hiding their vehicles right now. Supreme Elite Team University, you don't have to hide your vehicle. They're hiding their vehicles. Want to know why? Because I don't care if you would obtain a title from the DMV, the real underlying debt.
I don't think there's no way in hell.
Nope, then the title could be challenged. As a matter of fact, I got plenty of court cases that I'll be introducing next week of borrowers who take these online advice with the title and the trust, and the finance company came back, sued them for the title. The judge asked a simple question, hey, did you pay this? Did you satisfy this? And in one case, a person said, yeah, I sent them a negotiable instrument. They never sent it back. And the lawyer stepped up and said, it was fraudulent. That's why we never responded. So the judge awarded them title. And then just like that, they repossessed the vehicle.
Gotcha, bitch.
See, that's what you're going to run into with these trusts. Put your titles into a trust people. They know that whatever process that they're doing, whatever they're trying, whatever they're attempting to do, they know that they haven't yet got their things legally recognized by the court. And while me, myself, my claims were legally recognized. That is the biggest problem for a lot of people. That my stuff was recognized by the court and theirs wasn't. The judge actually made them respond.
You're rocking with the best.
Do you know how many people in these spaces filed motion for temporary restraining orders and the judge just dismissed it from the jump? You had plenty of people that started trying to copy my work on this app.
You're rocking with the best.
Copy from random people to the gurus. So when I say I am your teacher's teacher, see, the gurus, they'll never come out and publicly and give me my props, which I don't need them to. I get my props from actual professionals who your gurus would never ever be in a room with them. But when I see their actions and how much they really value what I put out there, it's just more confirmation that
you're rocking with the best.
the finance company, their mindset, they're looking at your contract totally based on your monthly payments and all the payments that you got to make on the contract. Do you think they're looking at it that way? Now, the answer for many people is
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine lines.
they don't know how the finance company is looking at their contract because they've been on the consumer side. So their assumption could be is, I believe the finance company is looking at it from the consumer side because that's the lens that what I see it through. It's not helpful to ask someone to look at a contract in a realm that they don't even know exists. So I'm gonna bring it back down a little bit. So when you look at your total of payments on your TITA disclosure box on your contract, many people see that is something I have to defend against. That is something I have to challenge. That is the focal point of why I'm doing the processes that I'm doing. Many people see that. Many people want to ask for the wet ink signature. People want to say, produce the note. And one of a more legit question is, show me that you have the right to enforce. But I want to pose a question to you that is clearly answered in SETU. What if the numbers that you see on your contract look very different from the same numbers that they book on their books as part of your obligation?
Wait a minute. Wait. What are you saying exactly?
What if the numbers are drastically smaller on the books than what's represented on the contract? What if those numbers of what you actually owe is this, but your contract says this? But let's just say that you send in a negotiable instrument. I know the average person is not going to write a $25,000 check to set off their obligation unless they got about 100-something thousand, 200, 300,000 in the bank. The average person is not going to write 25,000 on a check at one time. So when I see those checks, I know that they're writing the check on air. I use my whole 25 on this auto. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Everyday real life, you know that's something you really think. So when I see a $25,000 check, like Kenyana Stone, I know she's writing that on no account that she has direct access to. I call that a theory check. See, I'm speaking in reality, real life. I'm speaking in real life reality right now. See, we can't merge our beliefs and theories and try to bring that as our new reality. You got to deal with reality of what it is. Ask yourself a question. What if the total amounts that's shown on your contract does not reflect the total amounts that they even say you owe?
Why are you asking me? Because I'm black?
That they even say you owe. And I say that to let people know that you're making your arguments so much harder. You're making your path so much harder if you don't understand how these corporate finance companies actually view the contract.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, Folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume. Well, stories in the fine lines.
So when I look at my case, right, every argument in my case, they can never deny. Every argument in my case, they can never come out and say I was wrong, or it's a misinterpretation, or misguided. So not only, and this is one of the beautiful things about SETU, the arguments that are raised from SETU, none of them can deny it. It's not true. None of them can deny it. They're all gonna run from the hills, or they're gonna end up settling with you. That's been the common theme. Myself and group members, who's taken my understanding and applied it in their situation, that's been the common theme. It's been settlements 2026 in my group. It's been settlements. Now, you only see mine. In the Supreme Elite Team group, you see the back end, you see the conversation, you see the back end stuff. But why would I be arguing something that is not even reflective of economic reality? That's basically saying I got a contract here and I'm doing produce the note on this contract, or show me you can enforce on this contract, or do whatever y'all talk about online on the contract. But the contract is not even reflective of what's really going on from an accounting standpoint.
You're rocking with the best.
So that led me to my determination that TILA is a sham. TILA only says they got to disclose. TILA disclosures. So why did the government let them get away with putting numbers on a contract that is not reflective of the numbers that they put on the books? Why would the government would allow them to get away with that? Everybody in the corporate professional world knows that your finance charge is nothing but made up money. That's why when you seen I showed y'all my principal minus 19,000, where was the extra 30? It's supposed to be like 30-something thousand. They only gave him 10,077. So subtract 40, take $41,115.96, $41,115.96, and subtract that from 10,077. That number that you're going to get, right? When it showed that when they wiped it off, waived it off on the account, why did it only show up to 19,000, the remaining principal balance? Why wasn't that and the finance charge waived?
They don't really know.
Wanna know why? Because your finance charge is nothing but hot air.
You're rocking with the best.
It's not even income that they fully earn yet. Why do you think that only the principal balance was waived, not the finance charge? Because your finance charge is nothing but extra money to them. Has nothing to do with your transaction. The way they calculate your finance charge, 98% has nothing to do with the repayment for the use of money. None of it. These are things that I prove time and time again from an economic and an accounting standpoint. We get to their investor disclosures, how they're violating that. Or they violate it every day. There's nothing about a consumer transaction where there's not 1,000,001 violations. The problem with the violations is the violations that people bring up are not the violations that are going to lead to not only a debt free and clear, but the assets to their vehicles or their homes. It's not going to amount to it. In a simple like even in a mortgage case. So let's say you got you get a $400,000 mortgage. You got to pay $725,000 back. And you got to pay $2,370 for 30 years. $2,370 for 30 years, $400,000 got to pay got to pay $725 back. Your first 10 years of mortgage payments, it's going all to fees and interest. It's not even going, various snitches going to the principal. It's the same concept with an auto. For anybody that's made a payment for a year or year or two, you ever notice that your principal balance always dips a smidget? You always notice that it's only a smidget that it dips. That's not by design. I already understand right now. I'm putting my understanding on the borrower. So from an accounting standpoint, 98% of the interest payments that I made wasn't actually going to true interest. It's just how you book these assets on the books that makes it seems like you have an unconditional right to payment, but you really don't have an unconditional right because you owe other people that money. But that is a gem out of this world. But let me just put it all over you. 98% not going towards interest. And then you ask me to refi. I sign a new note. They cancel out the other note and cancel out the other note. All that means is when they cancel out the other note, all they're doing is saying, okay, how much does he really owe on the books? How many payments have we gotten from him? Okay, we can apply that there. So let's say you've been paying on your home for 10, 15 years. All that extra money, where do you think it goes? You think they're giving you a check for the difference? Many borrowers don't even know it exists. How you gonna ask for something you don't even know exists? How can you fight and argue and dispute for something that you don't even know exists? Even a down payment, you know what they call that, a haircut. Why do you have to bring money to close? It's because they made it sound mandatory, didn't they? They told you needed this to close. I bet you they told you that too. I bet you that was the tone, right? The tone had a mandatory like tone. I bet you they didn't tell you that the down payment is only the costs and fees for them getting the financing. Them, what they owe, but the financing. See, one of the biggest problems with these space, we keep trying to insert ourselves in certain parts of the transactions that we don't belong. Now, we really be trying to insert ourselves as parts of the transaction where we don't belong. The closing fees that they call it to you, closing fees, is nothing more than the that they owe. That's why they do a haircut off your loan proceeds. They're putting it right in your face. They're putting it right in your face. Want to know why it's right in your face? Look at the amount loaned and versus look at the amount financed. I guarantee it's going to be two different numbers. The amount financed is never going to be for the amounts that you was approved for. I read these things. I read hundreds of mortgages, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I read these people's balance sheets. I read their accounting. I read their books. I read their financial statements. I read their call reports. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I've seen it over and over and over and over.
That boy is good.
The amounts financed, that's the haircut. So in actuality, they were supposed to ask you if you wanted to assume it. The lender is responsible for these fees unless the borrower agrees to assume it. That's how diabolical they are. They don't even present it to you as if you have an option. They present it to you as it's mandatory. What's their justification? Everybody does it. This is how it works. We all do it. It's practice. It's the standard. That's all gonna be the answer. That's gonna be the answer. They plug it right into your financing. So basically what they say is, man, we owe about 20,000. Shit, why we gonna pay it? We gonna make them pay it. Here, bring this to closing. That's what you do. Here, bring this to closing. Man, you bring 20,000 to closing. There we go. All right, gotta cover that. Shoot. Thank God they don't understand what's going on. And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna bring that 20,000 to closing. You're gonna bring a right to closing. See, these are the Supreme Elite team. How many times I gotta tell y'all? This system is about understanding the little things. These are the little things, the little small things, but they have so much significance. They have so much significance, but they're very subtle. See, this system isn't about finding the Big Bang Theory. It's about understanding a little piece here, a little piece there, until you get all those pieces and then you see the big picture. Hell, even in a mortgage foreclosure, they don't even care that you didn't pay. They don't even care. The only reason why the foreclosure is taking place.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby. Folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine lines.
What caused the 2008 recession was that they were putting defective and deteriorating assets into the pools, and they were issuing securities to the investors on assets that were already deteriorated, assets that were already in non-accrual status, assets that were already impaired. Back then, they could they had the right to only classify it as non-accrual, impaired, deteriorate at the fact that when they wasn't receiving the payments for a certain amount of time. It was a time frame. So banks were smart and finance companies were smart. They'll take advantage of that window. So yeah, they will be transferring a contract, the back of security issued in a pool, when they know they went 45 days without seeing a payment. See, now today, they don't have that window. The window is shorter. See, this is the regulatory and the international regulatories over accounting. See, I'm talking from the United States and the international. They changed that loophole. The international they got their own little version, but the United States got their own little version. So now today, if the underlying contract or the asset is not performing, see, this is on the investor side now. When the underlying asset's not performing, then the security that's issued back by the asset has to reflect the economic reality. So now they have to reflect it as non-performing. Instead of doing that, they go and take it out, cash the investors out, foreclose on you. If we can keep the money, win the judgment, we're gonna pocket that, but it's already been taken care of. Not to mention, the amounts that they said you owe from the beginning is never the amounts that they know you owe, and they can't even prove difference between the amounts that they initially measure them as versus what the contract says. See, now they can't prove that from a legal standpoint. They're not gonna be able to prove it. Everybody out here, if you're looking at your total contracts, the amounts that you owe, your total on your books, if you're looking at them, I'm gonna tell you straight up. And you're gonna know soon. You're gonna learn soon. I got a crystal ball. Some of you are gonna learn this soon. Whatever it says on the contract, total of payments, don't even worry about it. It's never what you really owe.
What?
Wanna know why? Because the accounting system that's set up, it doesn't even allow for that. It's impossible. Nobody will make money. So when they use the word discount, I see people online using the word discount. They won't be able to break it down what discount means. They have no clue what it really means. Class 5 of the SETU, we actually went over that.
Let's take a look at a sneak peek.
Welcome today. This is part 5 of the Supreme Elite Team University. We're going to get into the class overview. The Supreme Elite Team University SETU Class 5. Today's class is about one thing: the difference between what a contract says and what the transaction is actually worth. Because in every consumer transaction, auto loans, mortgages, credit cards, there are 3 layers. The first layer, the contract, what you signed. Second, the accounting, what they recorded. Third, the market, what it was actually worth. Signed, recorded, worth. And the entire case is won or lost based on which one the court accepts. We actually went over the mathematic formulas that they use to determine the actual amount that you owe. How much do you owe in your contract on the books? You got a 30-year mortgage, you got a 7-year auto. What you owe is never from the 30-year standpoint. Do you think they're really going to account for your mortgage loan 30 years out? How much is this 30-year contract worth in a year? What you owe? What? 700, 800,000 you got to pay back. 2, 3, 4. What you really owe? Where's the extra 500,000? Where's that going to? Them. It's their spread. That's how they make money. It's their cut. Told you they ain't nothing but glorified middleman. Y'all ain't want to believe me. You're going to spend 20 years of your 30-year mortgage, 20 years of your life just paying administrative fees and interest and fees and fees and fees and fees. Things that they use to keep their engine running. That's what you're paying back in the mortgage. You're not really ever going to touch the principal. You don't touch that principal. Woo! By the time it gets to a principal only, you done put about 20 years on the job. It's not really the issue. It's the psychological effect that it has on people before it actually happens. Because we get attached to things. Imagine you walking into your house for 15 years straight. You get kind of used to that setup. You know, your kitchen's yeah, birthday's there. Nobody wants to lose their home. You're growing emotionally attached to that property. But by the time you realize that you've already paid that home over 2 or 3 times over. But we look at the contract. We get so focused on the contract. The contract is a smokescreen to the economic reality of what's going on. You know, I tell them to take that contract and do it and wipe your ass with it. Because the contract is never telling the truth. Let me ask you a question. If your contract is saying one thing and that they booking on the contract is saying another, why don't they send you an updated balance due in your contract? Whether it's a credit card or auto, why don't they send you an updated balance due? Why don't they send you an updated balance due? And I don't go all this extra. I deal with everyday real life reality. This is why a lot of people, you know, they want a minute, they can relate to what I say. It's everyday. I deal in everyday real life. I don't go in these, you gotta get 250 million back from them. No, I don't deal with that. I deal with everyday reality, that reality that everyday people face, the reality every day in real life. It's not the fact that people can't afford the things that they pay. It's the fact that nobody wants to pay any more than what they already expect them to pay. If my contract says $43,000, but on your book, I know you only count for is $12,000, why I gotta pay $43,000? Why can I only pay the $12,000 what you booked it as? Why do I gotta pay $43,000? Explain that from a legal standpoint. Why I gotta pay $43,000 when you yourself only expect me to pay $12,000?
You're rocking with the best.
Explain it to me. Explain that to me. So maybe I'm missing something. Man, explain it to me. Help me understand that. Help me understand that, because I don't understand it. So you mean to tell me you done booked about $160,800 roughly on an $800,000 mortgage on your books, and you want me to pay you $100,000 more in money that you can't even legally justify? What do you think I am? What do they think? Who do they think we are? Do they think that low of us? But guess what? Look how many years and decades they've been doing it right under our nose. Don't even know it's taking place. Because they got us, that contract law, they got us. And what's another smoke screen? The deed of trust. You know, the deed of trust is not your home is never the collateral for a mortgage. That's another misconception. You know, the more I spoke to professionals, the more I realized the difference in the separations from what people believe in their theories online to like, nah, this is how we actually operate. Yo, the separation, bro, you can travel. It's like the whole distance of the Atlantic Ocean. The reality of what they do every day versus what people saying this is how it goes. It is like 2 different worlds. No, for real. The amount of people who is saying how the system goes today versus speaking to people that actually deal in that system every day, you wouldn't believe the distance. It is like, it has nothing to do with how they operate every day. Your deed of trust, your home, the property itself, is never collateral. Your deed of trust, it's only secured so it can be collateral for the trust. It's a security interest in the home. They put a security interest in the home, and that's to have some type of incentive for you to pay. But when it comes down to your monthly payments, your so-called lender, they don't even have a legal right to collect all the amounts that they saying you owe. See, accounting works very funny and it's very tricky. That's why when I hear these people talk accounting online, I know they have no clue what's really going on. I know they have no clue. And I don't say that to be big-headed or boastful. Like when you actually seen it, done it, and spoke to the top professionals who confirm it and actually read it from the top professional accounting people in the world, and then you hear them say something different and they're adamant that I'm wrong and they're right. I'm like, where are we? What are we doing here? We in a twilight zone. They just want to be right online. They just want to be right online. They don't want anybody to come along that even tells them they're remotely wrong because they feel in their mind they're going to lose. See, I don't have to go back and forth with a person about who's right or wrong. I don't have to do it. Want to know why I really don't have to do it? Now, I'm engaged for the entertainment purpose. You wanna know why I really don't have to do it? Because any question that I have, I know I can pick up the phone and talk to someone who works. Bam! Right there. And just because I have that access, many people don't like that fact. So they'll even try to discredit the professional. Interest represents a portion. So a portion of your finance charge, a portion of what they're saying is interest. So prime example, $622 a month. $433 is being put towards the interest. The rest is being towards the principal. The reason why they call it interest, because interest is indicative of a receivable. A receivable represents the unrestricted right to payment. They're already creating a miscalculation because they don't have an unrestricted right to payment because investors owe that money to investors. So they will book it under the right term that reflects that they owe the investors first. Then that means they will have to satisfy the investor payments out of their own pockets. And then whatever's remaining, they could legally come after us. The problem why they wouldn't come after us is because it's the investors that put the payments up. But there's no contractual obligation or agreement between us and the investors. This is why the finance companies and the banks come in as a glorified middleman. So they basically want to say they would have no way to collect if they didn't book it that way. They have to book it as a receivable because they wouldn't have a way to collect, because your finance company or your mortgage lender wouldn't be able to collect legally, and they wouldn't be able to more enforce the debt. So they try to mitigate that by having servicing agreements with these companies, which allows them to service the loan, collect the debt on their behalf, which is they can do. But you got the service companies still trying to foreclose, and they don't do anything spectacular. So when they're signing the note into the trust, they're going to endorse it on the back. This is why you always see an endorsement going out. You always see when they file a complaint, the note on the bottom is going to be paid to the order of blank, signed by whoever's endorsement. That's an endorsement out to the trust. So when they foreclose, on the trust is doing, hey, yo, let's get that note back, right? There you go. All right, file that. That's an endorsement out, not an endorsement in. Who you playing with? That's an endorsement out. So the endorsement is out. So you're attaching the same note that shows that you sent it that way. And then there's no intervening endorsements. So they just gave it back to you to go foreclose on. That's all you got? This your evidence right here? Okay, come on, run it. All right, that's all I say. Okay, come on, run it. That's all you got? You sure? Now I literally similar like, you sure you want to do this? You do know that. You sure? All right, come on, let's run it. Let's run it. Let's shoot the fade. Let's run that fade. Run the fade. Run the fade. You want to run the fade that way? Run the fade. I'm not about to say, oh, that's just wrong. Come on, come with it. Come with it. Just come with it. The problem that they have, a problem that a lot of people are experiencing. So back to your interest. No, the interest out of that 433, the interest probably gonna be like $80, $90. Your interest is very minimal. The interest parts that they're calling interest is nothing more than fees. It's nothing but fees, placement fees, program fees, their own warehouse lending fees. It's never the interest that you're saying, but they book it in a manner that they have unconditional right to payment. If they were actually, and this is why I said in the opening intro, we know how from the regulatory standpoint, how they're supposed to do it. And then we look at how they do it. And then in between, we understand why they're not doing it this way. And that's the exposure. Oh, you're not booking it to reflect what's really going on. Because if you did, you wouldn't have an unconditional right to payment. And that would blow your whole system apart. So you have to book it as a receivable. It's reflecting an unconditional right to payment. But in reality, you don't have an unconditional right to payment. Hell, you even know that. Your mortgage lenders, your auto finance companies, all they're doing is retaining a servicing fee at best. There's nothing from a balance sheet standpoint, from an accounting standpoint, hell, from an economic substance standpoint. There's nothing going on that shows that they have an unrestricted right to payment because they lent you money. Nothing. Remember, it all goes down on the books. All this extra stuff that people doing, sending all these documents to them, they don't give a damn. They know you don't know their books. They know you don't know their books. Remember, this is what they do. They use trust law to siphon our property from us. They use accounting and internal accounting and mischaracterizations of the items that they're booking on their balance sheets to hide what's really going on from us. And then they use contract law to stick you with the debt. That's all it is. So it's a one-trick pony. They do it, it's all the same. No matter what situation, all the same. So in a credit card case, the interest that you're paying, you know, at 35.9%, see, it's different in credit cards. See, in credit cards, they're actually using your extra payments to go purchase more receivables to add to the pool. Yeah. So your money's not going to pay back your credit card balance. They're going to give you credit for it, but it's actually going for them to purchase more. That's what they really do with that. They take your money because they call it interest. It's not really interest. See, that's the difference. And this is why I say TILA's a sham. Because they don't answer these questions that we're going to have when we bring this shit in court. TILA not going to answer. TILA, it just has to be disclosed. You got to make it visible. TILA, why are you allowing them to disclose numbers that from a balance sheet standpoint, you know is inaccurate? Why are you allowing them to do that? This is why I tell people, if you don't understand the four lenses of the contract, consumer finance, regulatory, investor, and the court lens, you're going to look at your consumer lens, just one little circle right here. You're not even going to get the full picture.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine line.
Many people are arguing things that kind of validates the sham. I mean, I'm not saying that they do it on purpose. Someone said proof. Anyone that's saying proof, you must be new. Now, if you're saying proof, you're new. If you are saying proof, yeah, you're new. I'll just say this. In my own settlement, I played a big part in my own settlement. I'll just say this. I played a big part in my own settlement. I was the reason why it went smoothly, not because of them. I was the reason. If I wanted to push the issue, they knew they was. I was on the phone with their attorney. See the difference between me and, what's his name? Whatever your name is. See, the difference between me and you is I don't automatically disregard something just because it's over my head. It's over my comprehension level. It's over my understanding. I don't automatically disregard things just because it's not what I believe, or I know I don't have the ability to do what another person's talking about right now. Like, we know you won't be on the phone with a professional lawyer. What? On the other side after the situation is over. We know you'll never have no evidence of that. I implore you to stick around and pay attention, Mr. You know. But I get it. This space is filled with 98% of theories. Hey, I'm gonna take your word, Humble Mike. Pure fantasy. I agree. Not this channel.
You're rocking with the best.
See, people have been so punch drunk by what they hear online. And if they would have took my advice and say, yo, 98% of what you hear online, they already tried 25, 30 years ago, they probably went down a rabbit hole. They probably wouldn't have went down those rabbit holes. But people, the belief is more stronger than the reality, the facts. The belief is more stronger than the facts. Hey, I'm not here to change nobody's belief system. I offer services that you can actually get excited about, that you can actually get motivated by. I even went an extra step. I jumped out there and said, you know what? I'm going to lead the way. Everything that we talk about in this group, everything that we talk about, everything that we go over, I am going to be a living example and a representation of that. I mean, normally you got these gurus holding classes and they haven't even done the shit themselves. That's every day. At least with me, what I teach is effective. It hits to the core. It disrupts their systems and it leads to getting the assets back free and clear. You ain't even got to do no fake trust process. They're going to mail the title back to you. That's all I do. Well, have you done it? Yes. The answer is yes. There's nothing that's being taught in SETU that's I did not implement fully. I did not break down the stairs. I will say this. There are just certain things about this system that you kind of got to know someone on the other side in order to be successful. Take advantage. We got a Mother's Day special going on until May 8th.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
I don't even teach from what I believe is done. I don't even teach from my theory, what I believe. I teach all from straight professionals. Professionals breaking down the accounting. Although they've been in these spaces for a while, taking a new path, the reality is the indoctrination that this system, through propaganda, through school, through education, growing up, it has a stranglehold on millions of people. A lot of people think that they're already free from it, but they're still under the propaganda and the psychological control of what's been embedded for decades in our psyche and our perception reality. I know you've been walking this new path for 2 months and 2 years, but 2 years does not erase 25, 30 years of programming that they've done on us. I know we want to think it does. It doesn't erase it. This is why I tell my group members, you got to chip away. You see like an ice block? You got to chip away at it. Catch a gem here. All right, let me put that gem there. Chip away. Ooh, another gem. All right. Then you start studying and analyze those gems. Once you understand those, okay, I understand those. All right, I'm ready for the next one. Everybody tries to learn it all one time. It's like they're trying to force themselves to adapt a mentality and a reality that they don't have. SETU, we're not attacking them from a consumer finance level. We are attacking them from a highly advanced corporate level. Wanna know why? Because up there, you understand exactly what they're doing. See, it's hard for any finance company, mortgage company to ever deny what is called industry practice, meaning this is just normal business to them. It's always going on. This is why the core elements of what I teach is going to be present in a credit card case. It's going to be present in a mortgage case. It's going to be present in an auto case. When we run their books and run their balance sheets and get the industry levels, get the industry numbers, it's Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Chase, Stanley Chase, Credit Acceptance, Bank of America, US Bank, Santander, Westlake, all of them, they all do the same thing. CarMax, dealers with floor plans, they all do it because the accounting that I know and they teach, this ain't nothing, it ain't got just limited to consumer financing. It's business transactions, it's insurance transactions. It's the corporate financing system. A lot of people think that I'm teaching how to go after just one of the, no, this is just how their system works. And the only thing we get is the facts and the elements of a particular case. But this is just how, it's one of the things where it is what it is. So when people say that's pure faith, that's not true, that lets me know they don't understand the system from up there. Because what I'm talking about, it happens normal every day. It's every day, normal every day. Over 132 countries participate in this. And what makes it even more complex in this group so beautiful, that we take the most highly complex claims, the highly class action securities like claims, and apply to a consumer transaction.
You're rocking with
Meaning,
the best.
Case law to back up everything. For many people, what do you have to lose? That's the question. What do you really have to lose? Do we need to run it down? You tried the W-4 sandwich. You submitted that 1099-A, thought that bill was going to be discharged. You done played around with the OID. done played around with the 1099B. A lot of y'all checks got reversed. You ain't never send the money back. So now you sitting with a heavy balance due in your account. You all know that. You tried Kirk's method. You tried Christina Wilson, money changer. You came from Patrick Devine. A lot of y'all tried Robots and Patriots. You done tried changing your name, adopting a new native tongue, putting hyphens and names to the back of your name, sent your status correction in, not knowing that they could give 2 rats about your status correction because you are considered a United States citizen if you were born and naturalized in the United States. You got Social Security number, birth certificate. To them, you're a United States citizen. It's not about what you call yourself, it's about how you're treated, about what you recognize. You know how many people call themselves, I got an LLC. You ain't nothing but a disregarded entity to the IRS. You know what that means? Your business income is going on your Schedule C with your 1040. That means any liabilities of the business, you paying the taxes on it. But you got your LLC though. It's not what you call yourself, it's how you're treated. You done tried the trust stuff. Look how many people that tried the trust, put the title on the trust, but you still scared to leave your vehicle in the parking lot going shopping. How many of y'all gotta have somebody ride with you when you go many places and they get in the driver's seat while you still in the store? You done tried the negotiable instruments, counts got reversed. You done tried the remittance coupon, the bill pay, it got reversed later. One of the problem with they didn't tell you was they don't net the books right when you send the payments in. They net them every quarter. This is why it may look like it's stuck there. Then like a couple months later, it got reversed. See, if you knew how to count and go, you realize that's why they're getting away, because there's a little window right there. So all the people, I can use this to show success, but when theirs get reversed, I can filter them out the group. I'll have them all blocked by now. So the only new people only see the new success. Y'all, 98% of what you see online is scams. That's all it is. Just like the person that's saying that they was discharging auto loans with an international promissory note, even though the international promissory note is widely associated with sovereign citizen movements, has no legal validity in the United States, but she wanted me to believe that it worked for her. When all the people that tried it before she even knew what it was didn't work. And let's just say it worked for her. Knowing that instrument is fraudulent, I would still never advocate for people to do it. Because I know many people are going to be looking for the same results and it's not coming. Hell, many people are looking for getting out of their debts, but they don't even like getting stressed out trying to get out of their debts without even understanding, well, what if I never even owed this amount anyway? See, isn't that a better way? Don't you feel a little more confident? Like, hold on, what if I didn't really owe this amount anyway based on what you say I owe, based on how you account for things on your books? See, that changes the whole conversation. See, that it doesn't that sound like a legal argument, like something that anybody can recognize? Why are you paying more than what you even say I owe? That's not right. That's the heart of equity. Just like you can have a title back in your trust name, but if you ain't never satisfied the underlying obligation, you having a title in your name does not extinguish the creditor's security interest and their underlying lien on the property unless you satisfy the underlying debt. See, they think a title stops the debt. The title does not stop a debt because contract law, you did not satisfy the balance. So yes, the lender can still come to court and sue you, but like, yo, you never satisfied this balance. You play games with the DMV. Judge is gonna remove it, lift it, and now once they get that judgment, now they get that title back in their name, you know they coming to snatch the vehicle. You playing around with the title. And this is why many people that do those title processes, they are hiding their vehicles. They're hiding their vehicles. But look at the mindset. Oh, I only paid the first month. I only paid the down payment. They couldn't get another payment from me. Ooh. Well, I know I'll never do business with you. I know I'll never do business with you. You looking like that's a flex. Now, you don't want to pay bail. I never do business with you. Like that's a win. Because doing things the legal and right way, many people don't know how to do it.